Grab that menu off that window for me, all right? Get in, it's unlocked. Just throw that in the glove box.
This car is not from the motor pool.
No, it's not. Sexy though, isn't it?
So where's the office, back at division?
You're in the office, baby.
What is going on, movie lovers, and welcome back to 5 on It. On today's episode, with Oscar season and the award season upon us, we decided to review a movie that gave one of the greatest actors of all time his first and only Best Actor award. Today, we are talking about the 2001 crime thriller Training Day. But before we go any further into that, help a couple of movie lovers out with a like, subscribe, maybe a share, a comment, do all that stuff that you fans love to do. But Sir Fraser, tell the people about Training Day.
Man, so this movie came out in 2001, directed by Antoine Fuqua, starring Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke as the two leads. This movie. I gotta say, man, when I think about some of the great character study movies, my personal favorites anyways, I think of movies like Taxi Driver with Travis Bickle, Citizen Kane, with Kane, Charles Foster Kane, Shame. I don't know if you've seen that with Michael Fassbender. It's a really, really great movie to me. Great character study about Michael Fassbender's character, who is, sex addict.
For a second, you're talking about Low Down Dirty Shame.
No.
I was like Keenan Ivory Wayans?
No. And then I think about movies like this, Training Day. This is an amazing character study of Alonzo Harris. Before we dive into that story, though, played by Denzel Washington, if you haven't seen this movie, stop right now and just go ahead and throw that on. It's an incredible movie, in my opinion. It's one of the great crime thrillers I've seen. When I think about really great crime thrillers, especially around this time, 90s to early 2000s, I think of movies like this. I think about Usual Suspects, like just riveting movies that are just have you, like, you are just in the movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? But before we really dive into this, I want to ask you a question about Denzel. Give me your Rushmore. So your 4 favorite Denzel movies.
Ooh,
I want to hear yours. I think I got mine, but I want to hear yours.
All right, well, hold on. Let me just let me pull up his accolades real quick, because Training Day is probably on it.
Probably.
But let me just look at like the whole, like a lot of his movies, because I'm just like, because even like a movie like Inside Man, that doesn't get enough recognition, and so that could possibly have been on there. Even like the Equalizer films is really good. Highest to Lowest, Psych. Flight, John Q.
John Q is a really great movie.
Even like The Bone Collector, Safe House is okay. Glory. Man, there's Denzel. Obviously, that's why I said he's one of the greatest actors of all time. I think that's like Philadelphia. That's not even an argument. That's just a fact. Man, he got game. Damn, my 4.
Let's hear it.
My 4 favorite Denzel movies.
What's your Rushmore?
I would have to go maybe Flight, Training Day. I would like to put Man on Fire on there, but I don't rewatch that enough, and I haven't seen that in so long, so I can't put that on there, even though I know like a lot of people love Man on Fire. So yeah, Flight, Training Day, Remember the Titans. Yeah, Remember the Titans. And man, I would want to put Glory on there, but that's such a tough watch too, just because of the subject matter. It's not really a movie that I would go back to rewatch, but is a really good film. And then probably He Got Game.
Damn. Okay.
Actually, nah.
All right. Oh, okay.
Take He Got Game off and put on The Equalizer. Just because that movie really surprised me and it birthed like a nice little trilogy. And it's a movie that it's a genre film that I didn't think that Denzel would do a movie like this, where it's like he's like just this assassin, like kind of kick ass, maybe not an assassin, but just this badass mercenary type dude. And I thought the story was really well done. And all three films, I mean, I think the third one is easily the weakest. They do get a little weaker as it progresses. It's not quite on the John Wick level that I personally love. Oh, American Gangster! I totally forgot about that one.
Hold on. So give me your form one more time.
The Equalizer, Remember the Titans, Training Day, and Flight.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
Let's see. So we don't have really any comments. So I'm gonna go with Training Day.
Okay, well, that one crosses over at least.
Malcolm X.
Yeah, see, like I knew Malcolm. Malcolm X is great, but I just don't rewatch it enough.
I'm gonna go Crimson Tide.
Ooh, I've never seen Crimson Tide.
That's a great movie. Gene Hackman, one of my favorite actors. Those two head to head. Love that movie.
That's a movie where like I've seen like the shorts on like YouTube, and like he's having like the confrontation with is it Gene Hackman?
Yeah,
dude, they have a
nobody backing down.
They have a fucking scene together, but I haven't seen that movie, so like I obviously got to leave it off. But that's one I have to watch at some point.
Okay, the next one I'm going to go with is one of my favorites, and that's Devil in a Blue Dress.
Ooh, that's another one.
Don Cheadle is great as a sideman. He plays Easy Rollins, based off of Mosley's novels. Really good movie. Takes place in the is it 40s or 50s? I think it's the 50s. But yeah, so those are our Rushmore movies. But I'm glad to hear we both have Training Day on this list because, dude. The way we start off with this movie, right? We're like seeing we're learning about Alonzo, right? He's very charismatic, but we're also getting these details, and this is one of those movies that's so helpful to rewatch because we're also getting cues from him in the way that he's responding and watching Hoyt. Where he's kind of sizing him up and trying to understand how he fits and where he fits within his larger scheme of the day. Yeah. And as those details are unfold, we get a sense of really just how evil this man is.
Yeah.
But, we meet him in the, we're also seeing Hoyt, right, who he believes he's in this career-defining crossroad where he makes a good impression on Alonzo. He can join his team, become a detective, and really kind of map his career from there. A lot of doors will be open for him, and so this is kind of setting up the frame of this whole day that we're going to be spending with these two characters.
Yeah, dude, this is a type of movie that I really love. Like when it just kind of like Superbad, where it just the whole movie is just about like one single day. It doesn't take place over like a week or a few months or years, whatever. It's just one, or like Friday. That's a classic one as well. Mm-hmm. But it's just one day, and it just categorizes like the things and the tribulations that just entail throughout that whole single day. And it just progressively kind of gets a little bit worse and a little bit worse and more crazy, a little bit more like over the line until we finally meet its apex towards the end of the film when Alonzo leaves them at the Essay's house,
Smiley,
to pretty much get smoked.
That scene is a highlight for me. I'm sure we'll get back to that one, but that is the way that it's shot, the escalation and tension. That is a masterful scene if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah.
The camera work is great, especially when they're dragging him down. Fuck it, let's just talk about it now.
Yeah,
you know what? We're here.
We're already here. Man.
Yeah, I mean, well, and the reason I go back to what I said earlier, like rewatching this movie will cue you into how manipulative and how cunning and ruthless Alonzo is. And we also learned really the key detail that is brought all these elements together for this day, and what is really driving Alonzo's plan is the fact that he killed a Russian gangster.
Yeah.
When he was in Vegas, and he has till the end of tonight to get the $1 million. And that adds context to why they hit Roger the way in the previous scene. But when Alonzo's walking to the car, he's on the phone, and he says, "Make sure you have that tub clean."
Yeah.
He's talking to Smiley, who he's about to deliver Hoyt to have him murdered, pay him to murder him.
Yeah.
So there's no loose ends because he can't trust him.
Yeah, because how that whole scene ends up with Roger, and like he gets to get the gun pulled on him and everything, and just how that everything happened. Obviously, he knows he can't trust him, and that he's just gonna go back and narc on him. So he's got to take care of him in some way.
Yeah, and
how they set it up though, like even just for the viewer. Obviously, we know since this is like I don't know how many times I've seen this movie. But just watching it, I remember watching it for the first time, and you're just not really like thinking of anything of it. You're just like, he just comes back to that same neighborhood that they were just at, and even though and he has a bunch of little goodies, and he says like, oh, he helps out the neighborhood no matter like what he may think and all that type of stuff. And then when he goes in there, he's just going to take a piss real quick, but that's the last time you see him. And then from there, like you said, the dialogue between the three dudes, and he wants to see the gun, and everything just gets ramped up little by little.
And that's clear from everything from the camera angles, right? Because we have these camera angles where we kind of sandwich Sniper and the guy who always plays Hector in any movie. Hoyt is kind of like sandwiched between them as they're playing cards, and then we get like these close shots of the men's faces, and then we get the big reveal where he gets up to look out the window, and Alonzo's car is gone, and that's when dude says, "If you ask me, Alonzo took you for a fool." And when he flips the table after they ask him that unsettling question, if he's ever had his shit pushed in, when he flips the table, I mean that him flipping the table is very symbolic of just how upside down that scene gets immediately.
Yeah.
And when they drag him, and we see like the camera angles, right, from like the floor view as they're dragging him through. And then even in the tub, dude, where we have like the low angle, we're looking at Smiley and all these dudes from a lower angle, just showing like he's literally at their mercy.
Yeah.
And the great detail of just signaling back to the young woman, the girl who was about to be raped, sorry.
Yeah.
I know, who's about to be SA'd, how that comes full circle with that being Smiley's cousin. I just thought that was,
I mean, yeah,
such a great scene.
You could say like, yeah, what are the odds that like?
Well, I mean, of
like,
course,
I mean,
yeah.
you could obviously say that, but
Yeah.
that's just like a beautiful way to bring like certain events like full circle, because that's exactly like kind of how like Officer Hoyt is. Like he's just like this kind of still wet behind the ears type of rookie, and he even gets called out even by Macy Gray's character in the film, and he's like, can you just give me a break?
When they're robbing Sandman.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like it just plays true to like to who he is, but like it pays off in the end because it literally saved his ass. And even when he calls like his niece and they get the whole situation like squared away, and the relief on Hoyt's face is just like, thank God. But then like he's just like, he kind of like gives him the towel. He's like, oh, don't mess up my floor. He's like, it was just business, right? And so it's just like, you just gotta know that Alonzo, like, a lot of characters have been like signaling that he's just not a good guy.
No.
And even was that him or who said it? He's like, yeah, I think that was him when he was like, I don't even shake his hand.
He don't respect nada.
He don't respect nada, huh? Dude, you just see from like you mentioned, like the intro of Alonzo and kind of how like he just kind of like just gets more aggressive to just
and more manipulative.
Yeah, as the story goes on, but that's obviously once it reaches its boiling point. But
well, yeah, I mean they're dropping that all along the way. Where he basically robs those college kids of this laced weed, puts a gun to Hoyt's head, forces him to smoke this PCP. And that whole sequence was just really well shot. But and even the dialogues, I didn't know you like to get wet. Sherm, dust, PCP.
Butt naked.
He said, you an adult, not like somebody put a gun to your head. I was just like, bro,
dude,
this motherfucker right here.
When you also think about it too, you're like, this is at the
Rookie.
beginning. This is at the beginning. Yeah, rookie. Get out of my car, dude. Like this.
Poo
is
butt ass.
This is at the beginning of the movie, and then honestly, I kind of clocked it too because. Like you mentioned, like the intro of Alonzo is like a huge highlight of this movie. Just for like from him hanging up on him, like when he calls Hoyt in the morning to like get him settled.
He's flirting with his fucking wife.
Yeah, he's just like, Hoyt kind of brings it on himself. He just won't shut the fuck up at the cafe. But then when he kind of just like, he's just pressing the issue, just kind of like
he's nervous.
Yeah, he just wants to see obviously want to see what he can get away with too as well. Like just pressing the envelope a little bit with Hoyt. Since he's new and he's a rookie and whatnot. But it's like that first stop. And I'm like, damn, we're 20 minutes into this. And this is already like, even when like the Still Dre hits, like when he gets in the office.
The Monte Carlo.
Dude, and he's in the car and they're driving around. I'm like, bro, like the movie's just on and popping from there. And then you get to the stop. And I'm like, bro, this is all over some weed too. I'm like, y'all did all of this for some weed. I mean, yeah, he laces it with some PCP and all that, but it wasn't laced with at first. It was just some bad weed. And I'm like, God damn, Alonzo, you're doing all this shit just for some weed. Come the fuck on, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, that was just, he's testing Hoyt at damn near every opportunity to really see that's something he's trying to see if he can bend him to his will, and he does that successfully throughout a lot of that movie.
Yeah, and
we also see Alonzo do that again and again to people, whether it's Snoop's character, whether it's the homeless guys that Hoyt beats up. That's another great scene, right? He was like, you told me to suck your dick, bitch. Isn't that what you said to me?
Dude.
That scene right there, it just, again, shows you too how sadistic and how he gets off on having, like, exercising power over people.
Yeah.
That's a huge part of his flaw. And he also, that's a huge part of his personality, and it drives his flaw because he thinks that he is he thinks he's immune from consequences.
Yeah. Well, like nothing's gonna happen to him.
Like he's above it.
Yeah.
That's circled back to when he has that great monologue when Hoyt has the gun on him and he's not gonna let him go, and the gangster's like, yo, don't worry about it, we got your back. And he basically says, like, you can't do this to me. I'm the police. I run shit here. You just live here.
Dude,
oh my God. Such a great fucking scene, though.
Which kind of brings up to when I looked up the actual like the script for this movie, just because I've always heard like how much like ad-libbing like Denzel's doing it, and improv that he's doing like throughout this whole movie. And particularly, like, I think it's like one famous one is like the diner scene with, as far as like the newspaper. But another famous one is like at the end when like he's talking about King Kong and like doing that whole, like when you actually look at the script, dude, like he is doing, that's why Denzel's one of the GOATs, man. Like he's taking like that little bit of dialogue. This movie is so well written by David Ayer, who's like a pretty good director too in his own right. But he's just taking this little bit of dialogue, and if he would have did it just how it was in the paper or on the screenplay, it wouldn't have like had nearly as much punch as it did. And so him just ad-libbing, improving, and just like adding all that extra stuff in there, just making that scene such like way bigger than life, and just making it such a classic moment for this whole movie and for this character as a whole. Honestly, that scene probably won him the Oscar easily, in my opinion.
Well, what's amazing about, that definitely is up there. I'm just to say about this movie. What's amazing about this movie, and really is, again, going back to how this being really like a character study of Alonzo, is how meticulously planned this movie was, and how every aspect of it went off like clockwork, went off perfectly, except for Hoyt.
Exactly, yeah.
And something I think that is worth circling back to is the joke that the snail story that Roger tells Hoyt when they first go over there before they rob him. Remember, he kind of has that joke. He kind of tells him about the snail that the guy throws over, throws like in his backyard or something, and the snail cracks its shell. But a year passes and he makes his way back to the front, and the guy says, "What the fuck's your problem?"
Yeah.
And I think like that snail very much, and like the resilience and refusal to die, is exactly what Hoyt exhibits.
Yeah.
I mean, he is literally about to get his face blown off with a double-barrel shotgun in a Cholo's fucking tub.
Yeah.
Survived by,
And he,
and he gets out by the skin of his teeth.
Luckily, by doing like something that was actually like true to him, of like
Being
like
decent.
being a decent, whether it's a person or being true to the oath as you take as a cop. That actually that came around and saved his ass. But like when he pulls the shotgun and the Roger scene, well, the second Roger scene, because there's two Roger scenes, when they rob him and everything, and Hoyt pulls the gun on Alonzo, and he's just like, "Oh shit, yeah, man, yeah," and he's just like, "I've been planning this shit all week," and so like you mentioned, this like this was meticulously planned from the get go, and even though Hoyt isn't. He's like such a different variable that you can't quite plan on, but he's trying to set him up because of like the PCP and everything like that. And like now he's got the witnesses saying like he shot Roger. And so like he's just still manipulating the situation as much as he can. But you still like you mentioned that Hoyt is such like a different variable in this situation. And so like as soon as he didn't take all that money, if he would have taken the money, then everything's cool.
Yeah,
Alonzo probably rides off in the sunset and either pays the Russians or he's able to get away or with the passports or wherever he was going to do. But since he didn't take that money, then that's when he's like, "Fuck, I got to kill this dude somehow because I can't leave any sort of like loose ends."
I think what really sealed it that he was going to have him killed is when he doesn't go along with their story about him shooting Roger. That's when I think he really he really signs his own death at that point. Because I think one of the telling scenes is after they pull the money chest out of the floor, and Alonzo basically says, the $250,000, buy your wife a new minivan, and he's like, "No, I won't do that. I can't do that."
Yeah.
And the other two guys look at him. Look at Alonzo, and that's where you can kind of see, okay, like he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
He's too goody.
Dude, and honestly, like, bro, be honest with yourself. Would you have taken that money?
Would I have taken that money?
If you're like, not like if you're Hoyt with this, more like as you, like if you were a cop and like you're up, like given this situation and all the other, like your other buddy cops are like, "Bro, no, there's $4 million here. We're going to take $1 million, say there was 3. We're each going to split $1 million and just don't say shit." I mean, would you, if these are your friends, nobody's going to tell it. It's just something you would have to live with your own guilty conscience. Like, would you do it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know, man. That's a lot of money. It's like, I guess it depends on like, because that could be a nice little college fund if you end up having some kids.
Don't go into the line of police work. That's all I'm going to say. Don't do it. Well,
oh man, but I'm saying that is like,
it is potentially life-changing money. Not in this economy, but back then.
I would have been so like quick on the gun if I was Hoyt. I'd be like, "Man, can I sleep on this? Please, like, can I get like 24 hours?"
Well, I think he's also, ironically, he's probably still thinking, "Oh, this is a test,"
Well, that's why he was at first. He was just like, "Ha ha."
No, right?
Yeah. You get like, "Yeah, I'll take it." But then that's what he say, like that the only the checks I cash or say LAPD on it or some shit like that.
Somebody didn't sleep in ethics.
Yeah. So I mean, so like, yeah, he is thinking it's a test, but once he finally realized, like, no, this is real.
Oh, dude, when he sees him kill Roger,
yeah,
and I mean the whole lines that he gives them after the fact, where he's basically like, what he says, you killed that man like his man was your friend and you killed him like a fly. He said, why? Because he knows my first name. And that whole line is like, this shit's chess, it's not chess. Just like that whole dialogue in that scene was just fucking just nailed it.
Yeah, man.
I mean, again, it just also just reveals to you, like, he really doesn't respect Nada. I mean, to do that to somebody that we thought to be a friend.
Yeah.
He didn't give a fuck. He killed him like it was no problem. And the way he like, breathe, dog, breathe. I'm just like, holy shit, man. I mean, that's another one of those scenes where you're just like, this dude, he's an evil person.
He's truly evil. I mean, he's just so cool about it on screen, but it's like, but he is evil at the core.
Oh, man.
One thing I just realized, though, watching this movie for like the 100th time, is that's old boy from Daredevil. He's just older, obviously, a Daredevil. The blind older guy that like I think he was like not Charlie Cox, but what's Daredevil's character's name? Damn, I can't think of like his actual like the character. I know it's Charlie Cox who plays him, but like I cannot think of Daredevil's actual like
Matt something, right?
Matt Murdock.
There we go.
Yeah, he's
okay.
Matt Murdock. Like in the series, he's like that older dude. He's blind as well. But that was him, Roger.
Oh.
And I was like, oh shit, he's obviously just a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Has like the shorter hair and everything. But I was like, oh shit, that's the dude from Daredevil. But man, thinking of this movie too, and like kind of like it's giving birth to some classic memes and gifs and whatnot. Just how classic it is. But man, like someone like mentioned with like the ad libs and like the improv, but like he's given us to me in like two lines that I quote in like not everyday life, but definitely very often, which is like, you want to go to jail, you want to go home, and then it's not what you know, it's what you could prove. Dude, I love those two lines, man, and those two that just kind of have burned itself into my brain.
Yeah, and I mean, I love. That's something he says routinely to manipulate people into doing what he wants. He says that to Blue. He says that to his own lieutenant after he gets shot. You know, after he shoots him.
Yeah.
I think going back to just Alonzo, like he is like this, like almost like this. He corrupts everything around him. That's kind of like something we see again and again throughout this movie, and I think it's interesting to see Hoyt's arc throughout this movie, where he starts this movie as really kind of giddy, you know, optimistic. Again, another layer of the dialogue that I really liked is he says to his wife, you know, I wish it feels like it's football tryouts, and I just want to know. Yeah. And then with Roger, he mentions strong safety, you know, so-and-so high school. Like,
for all the good players.
Yeah, I like that they kind of circle back to that, right, with the dialogue. But, you know, he starts off as this really optimistic person, and over the course of this day, his romantic ideas about securing the neighborhood, protecting the community is just completely shattered by all the layers of corruption that he sees through riding shotgun with Alonzo. The three wise men. Yeah. Like that scene is another fun one. You know, packed his ass with fucking sandwich spread. Yo, could you imagine? This motherfucker's like looking the judge in his eyes, licking the chunky fucking Jif.
Dude, that was insane. Dude, when they mention, they bring up the whole Vegas situation, and then when he goes to Smiley's house and they talk a little bit more in depth about the whole Vegas stuff. Like, I just love like hearing about like, oh, exactly what happened with these Russians.
We're getting those puzzle pieces like one at a time. Yeah,
like why does he need like this money? Which kind of brings me to like, hold up, they said he was in the Russians for $1 million, and they saw 4 million at Rogers, or they got 4 million, but they were only going to process 3. So they're each taking $1 million, or not each of it, but they're taking $1 million, but they're splitting that up with $250 each or something like that.
Which makes you wonder, if Lonzo already had a stash amount of cash, he just needed that extra, and that's why he robbed Roger.
Okay, so I'm just like that math ain't
It ain't
mathing
mathing.
right now.
No. He owed them $1 million, but I assumed splitting that with his team, that would more than cover his end because he already had enough saved up, but he just needed more.
And speaking also of the wise men and the screenplay as well, like it doesn't quite end exactly how like the movie ended.
Yeah,
like
they confront him. They're waiting for him.
Yeah, and like he like slams like the badge on the table and everything, and they're like, "Where's the money?" And it's like it's at headquarters and stuff. Like there's a whole interaction with Jake and the wise men, like actually in the screenplay version of it. I wonder if they actually shot a version like that, maybe maybe in the DVD version with like the behind the scenes that they used to have with the chapters and whatnot.
Cut scenes, yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's like actually
alternate ending.
An alternate ending, yeah, of Jake meeting the wise men. But another thing, this is like a small Easter egg, but it was when Alonzo says to Jake that like when he pulls the gun on him and it looks like you think that like maybe that's when he's going to kill him at that point, because he's like, on tonight's news, officer killed in drug bust. He survived by such and such.
Wife and infant daughter.
Yeah, but then when Hoyt actually gets home and you hear the news playing, then
we hear that
Alonzo's version of
survived
it.
by 4.
Yeah, and I'm like,
wife and 4 sons.
That's a little Easter egg right there.
Yeah,
it all
true.
came full circle for him, for him in the end. But
well, I mean, I love the sequence where Hoyt gets back and goes into the jungle to. Was it apartment complex? Was it the jungle? They called it. Was that right?
I can't quite remember.
Where Eva Mendes was staying.
That sounds about right.
When he goes back to for Alonzo, and that whole shootout scene. I mean, this motherfucker's firing off a Mossberg, whatever kind of shotgun that was, in the house. His son is there. His son is in the living room.
Yeah.
And that whole scene where he confronts him. And then they have their firefight. I mean, that was such a good scene. Really good action sequence. And then it falls obviously up to the roof where Hoyt was getting his ass whooped. He got some good punches in, but he was getting his ass whooped. Again, but going back to that snail, man, he was resilient, man, and got the drop on him when they're in the car, when he's in the car trying to hit Hoyt. Oh, man. I think that this movie is... It's a great movie.
Man, I was going to mention too, though, real quick. Like, kind of what do you think? Because you've seen Set It Off, right? Mm-hmm. With Queen Latifah and Jada Pinkett Smith and like the female rap, which that's another movie I feel like doesn't get enough love. Like that movie is like really well done in my opinion.
Good heist movie. Yeah, I haven't seen that in years.
But this movie, both of these movies have a very similar scene. With Queen Latifah's character and Set It Off. If you haven't seen that movie, plug your ears. But when her character meets her demise, she's in a car as well, and she's rolling, and it just gets fucking lit up. But I can't quite remember the artist, but then they had that song like Day After Day, that song, but they had that Push Against the Clouds. I want to say that's what it's called. I'm not sure of the artist, but they had that playing in the background, and then like she gets out and she's getting gunned down and whatnot. Dude, and then... And in Training Day, that's how Alonzo meets his demise. He's just in the car trying to make his way to the airport and whatnot, and then the Russians end up cutting him off. I'm like, bro, well, like, who do you think had a better like gun down scene? I should call it. Who do you think did their scene better?
I haven't seen Set It Off in a long time. I do remember her getting blasted at the end, but I don't remember. Because she gets out of the car too, doesn't she? You said, right?
Dude, because...
Am I remembering that right?
Yeah, like she gets out because like it's like calm at first. And then like, bro, like I honestly would probably give it to just Set It Off a little bit because even visually it looks cooler.
Well, because like the helicopter is also
the helicopter like coming with the spotlight.
Yeah.
And her car literally like damn near surrounded. And like she gets out for a moment and she's trying to fire off the gun, and then they just fucking gun her down, and then they bring in the slow mo and she's just like sitting there holding on, bro. Like I remember watching that when I was young, and I was like, I feel like I'm getting shot. Like, god damn.
I do remember that. Yeah. You know, it's funny because when I saw, I did not think about that movie when I rewatched this. I thought about Sonny's death in Godfather 1, where he's at the toll booth and these guys in machine guns just spray the car. Then he manages to get out and just gets lit up.
Oh my
and then they
goodness.
kick him in the face after he's down. It was just brutal.
Bro.
That's what I was initially thinking of. So now that you mentioned Set It Off, though, I do. As I remember thinking about that initially too, but when I saw this, but my first thought was Sonny, because he kind of gets, well, they're both men, and they both get plastered, just riddled with bullets in front of their, out right up by the driver's side door. Yeah, I don't know, man, that's tough,
dude. But
that's tough.
Speaking of violent deaths, man, I'm gonna just do a quick little segue over here to Casino real quick, because although Alonzo, his demise is pretty brutal and whatnot, and it's like the scene is really well done, man, I don't know, like,
Casino's is worse.
In Casino, when Joe Pesci's character, and like you hear like his narration, and as soon as he gets hit with the bat, like the
Cuts.
narration stops, like just like the
That's a more iconic scene for me. And they're buried alive. They're not even dead yet.
And dude, just like you just like mentioned, like with the Queen Latifah, how like it was like I was feeling like I was getting shot. It just felt like I was feeling like
those blows
with that baseball bat and stuff. It's like it's just so crazy and brutal. And
it is.
The fact that like they're just getting buried alive, and they're still probably like a little bit conscious too for it. They just can't do anything about it. It's such a fucking heartbreaking, brutal ass scene. But Casino is a banger of a.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Did we review that or no? That was in like one of our tops, wasn't it?
Casino.
Yeah, didn't you?
I think I have my top 90s. I think we did our 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think we did it.
I mean, that's one of my favorite movies of all time too. But yeah.
It's always between that one and like Goodfellas. It seems like it's always pitted against each other.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I do know why.
Scorsese.
I mean, if I'm being 100, no, I'll be honest. I think Casino is a better movie.
Man, I don't know. Like, well, I have to watch it more because I've only seen it like once. But I do lean towards Goodfellas.
Okay.
But Casino was really good, and like I said, I don't know if Goodfellas has any type of like death scene that can hold a candle to the Joe Pesci one. That shit is just,
I mean, Joe Pesci's character, he's just Nicky is just he's a fucking dynamite stick in that movie. He's just
he's like that in both movies.
Yeah,
he gets killed.
Yeah,
in both movies.
yeah, he does.
Damn.
He does. He definitely does. Yeah, he got whacked in both of them.
He was just that annoying ass dude. He knows how to play him.
Yeah, tough guy. He definitely made man almost.
But I think is there any like cons for Training Day that you could think of off the top of your head that you wanted to talk about? We just want to go to scores.
Are there any cons in this movie for me?
Because I'm not gonna give it a 5.
Yeah, it's not a 5, but I'm trying to think like.
Honestly, if we're still sitting here, if we're like doing like scratching our heads, like there's nothing that's gonna like stand like off of it as far as like.
I think for me, like the reason I guess we can just say this when we pivot to score. So like for me, like this movie is a 4.5. It's not a 5 for me because there are other crime dramas within this that I think offer me more and get into more detail. Like I think Heat is a better movie than this. I love this movie, but I think Heat is a better movie. I think that Casino to me is a better crime movie. But I mean, a lot of that is because like we're dealing with years and we're able to like really understand, like we're getting so much more character depth. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's what would stop me. Like, you know, like again, with some movies like The Godfather, we get character depth. We get a great character study in this man, but it's really from it's really within the span of 24 hours.
Yeah.
And so we're not able to, like, almost a prequel would have been fascinating to me. Like seeing, because one of the things they do repeated throughout this movie is that how similar Hoyt is to Alonzo when Alonzo was a younger cop. So it's just like, okay, how did he become corrupt by this system? How did he become corrupt? Was it something like, I mean, because clearly he seems like one of those, I can imagine his becoming just a corrupt cop was something that started like gradually, right? Maybe it was like, oh, I got to do this in order to get this investigation. I got to toe this line. I got to push the envelope a little bit. And along the way, he just completely lost sight of any kind of morality.
Yeah.
The ends totally justify the means.
That, like, because they did a series, Trading Day, and then I think they just try to make it probably like, I haven't seen it, but I'm guessing they probably try to make it just like the movie, like a series version of the movie with like maybe a few more details added to it, just to extend it since it's like more hours of content. But that's actually a pretty decent idea because like isn't that what Roger said to him? And he's like, man, you were just like him when you were his age or whatever. So honestly, they should have maybe did a Training Day Alonzo years or something where they had like a rookie Alonzo and then you meet maybe Roger along the way and you see like his character as well. Man, that could have possibly worked if they would have maybe went that route a little bit with the story. Because I definitely would be kind of interested to see that character.
How did he get here?
Yeah, exactly. How he got to that point.
I mean,
especially just from that little one-liner of just like saying like you were just like him.
I'm trying to think. I know we mentioned like The Usual Suspects. Like that's an amazing movie to me. I think I kind of hold both movies in really high esteem. I think with that movie, you just have an incredible, for me, plot twist. We learn who Kaiser Soze.
Yeah.
We learn that we see that hairline in that fax.
God, yeah. Huh? I mean, with leaving all the extracurriculars with Spacey to the side for a minute, like he's just like a great actor though.
Who? Kevin Spacey. Oh yeah.
With Usual Suspects, and then also the other like one.
Oh, American Beauty.
Yeah, Well,
dude, I even like K-Pax. I remember that movie drop. I remember seeing it in the theater. Like that was like an interesting sci-fi with Jeff Bridges, I think, is in it. But I mean, I think this is one of the great. I mean, I guess okay, if you had to choose between something other crime thrillers that are just like really just great, would you put this above No Country for Old Men?
Ooh, maybe not. Maybe not, just because obviously that's another fantastic movie, but like I can't think of his real name, but the actor that played Antoine Chigurh.
Oh, Javier Bardem,
yeah,
great villain.
Javier Bardem. Like that character, like stands out just a little bit more for me than Alonzo, even though that did win him the Academy Award. But like I mean, you're following. I can't think of his name either. The guy played Josh Brolin, and you're following him and his character.
Llewellyn Moss.
Yeah, and even like how the movie ends too. Like there's just so many subtle details of like him looking at the boots for the blood and everything. Like we're kind of splitting hairs, I suppose, but I probably would put No Country above Training Day.
Well, I'm just thinking like. It's not that I think that I'm I'm really drawing a blank on any cons in this movie. So it's not that I take issue with it. I think that there are better movies out there that kind of tell stories within that crime thriller genre.
Yeah.
I mean, Silence of the Lambs considered. I feel like that's a crime thriller. I mean, that's another like fucking just heavy hitter.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Seven, bro.
I mentioned like Seven. Yeah, like because I can't. I don't want to. I'm giving it a 4.5 as well because I would like flirt with like giving it a 5-star. I mean, just because like, I can't like if I'm like looking at for any cons, I'm actually probably just being like nitpicky about certain things. Like, oh, well, I mean, you can like expand on this, or you can just like cut some of this out, or maybe you can add a little more action or something like that.
Leon the Professional, another great crime thriller with another great character study in fucking Gary Oldman's crooked ass cop. Yeah.
Oh, man, have you seen The Game?
Oh yeah, David Fincher.
Man, that's a great movie as well.
I haven't seen
or
that in
Hell or
years.
High Water. Man, I love that movie too.
Yeah, it's a great Western.
But yeah, like I would just be getting very like nitpicky. But honestly, like with 4.5s and 5s, like that's pretty much what it is. It's just like a 5-star.
It comes down to preference too, for like the kind of stories you like. That's also.
And just honestly, like I mentioned, rewatchability too for me is up there. And like Training Day does have rewatchability.
Oh yeah,
but that's probably where maybe
at any point in the movie you could drop me in, and I'm
like,
watching.
And dude, we haven't even mentioned this, but Eva Mendes is in it. Any movie with Eva Mendes is worth at least a peek. And she's naked for just a minute, just for half a frame. You can see if you slow down like real fast, you could probably catch a peek. But anything with her is definitely worth a shot. But yeah, it just probably maybe that's where it lacks the 5-star. Is just there's some other movies like you mentioned that does a little bit better job of what they do
with the story.
And just has a little bit more rewatchability to it. So maybe that's where it falls short. But 4.5 is where I land on it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up our episode for this week. Stay tuned. We're going to be dropping some Black History movies to celebrate Black cinema. And yeah, can't wait to dive into those movies with you guys.
Yes, sir. Peace.